Hello, good evening, and welcome back to RPM. This is Premier Division from a slightly subdued number on the grid. Only 11 tonight. There must be some other sport going on. Up the Seagulls. Classy's going to hate me for that instantly. I'm RPM Jones, and that little giggle you can hear, that's Mr. Kieran. How are you, Kieran?
Hello, I'm doing good. Been excited for another race. Last week in Canada was probably one of the best. So hoping to see more exciting action this week in Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an absolute barnstormer of a race last week. We had a bit of everything and certainly a lot of late drama, but Colin being crowned the champion, and he'll be out here soon, I'm sure, showing off his championship winning car. And we can actually see him here. There we see Colin in the Ferrari, loaning it from the podium city of Championship yesterday, Mr. Backer. I'm unsure if this quote is from Backer or the Beatles, actually. Colin, you can drive my car. Yes, you are going to be a star. Colin, you can drive my car, and maybe you'll win too. I'm pretty sure that's nothing to do with Paul McCartney or John Lennon.
I think you would be saying that to Evil. You would be saying that to Evil.
Yeah, well, Evil Master really taking a fight to Colin at the moment. I also see Mrs. Bold in the chat saying, evening, how are you? I hope you're having a great night. And, watching the champion on board. I'm just going to quickly switch to Evil Master, who's halfway through his lap here. And see how he's getting. Well, he's invalidated, so I'll switch back to Colin, because this will be first blood. Get him even quoting Rambo now. And as we see Colin using all the outside there, throwing it into the right-hander, keeping it all collected, and just missing the apex ever so slightly, but he's motoring on, open his DRS, and he'll come to the end of the first sector here, and he goes purple, unsurprisingly. Absolutely flying already, and actually I've just noticed on the medium tyres. I don't know how I didn't notice that before.
Just showing off his pace.
Absolutely, and that might explain why he missed the apex earlier on in the lap, but I can't really talk about missing apexes. I don't think I found one all season. Higgsy sets the pace, but then instantly he's dropped by 7 tenths to Davey. We do already have Smith asking what the weather looks like. I don't know if you've got a telemetry open now, Kieran.
Oh, have a look. Well, interestingly, it looks like it's going to rain for the first 30 minutes of the race.
Oh, wow. So a bit of interest there. So people might be on wet setups. We've got Mr. Inorganic as Colin goes 1:17.8, just pipping Davey to provisional pole. We've got Volcano also in 4th, Maggot in 5th, and Huss in 6th. I'll go on board with Evil Master to see him do his lap. Mr. Inorganic in chat saying, "Hi, Mr. Jones and Kieran. My ears are hurting now." I'm assuming that's about the quote from Backer. I think you spelt something wrong there. It can't seriously be hurting. I've been told I'm the songbird of my generation. He says, good luck to Higgsy and to the Alfa Romeo boys. Sorry, as a Villa fan, Newcastle to win. I'm only supporting Entity because I assumed everyone would want Newcastle to win. I'm taking a gamble, so to speak.
What are the odds on Bet RPM?
Bet RPM. Well, let me just investigate that for you. I won't be looking at rival sites to get an idea, to actually provide some sensible odds for once. Who've we got on a net? We've got Dragos on a flyer. He's about to come across the line. Evil Master on provisional pole. I'd say the odds are around 8-13 for Newcastle to win at the moment. Brighton 4-1. That's an official Bet RPM price. You will not find that anywhere else, especially not on a betting service that also televises Formula One. I think I've got us covered there. The legal red tape has been covered. Don't worry, Kieran.
They
And
won't notice.
if not, Luke will bail us out. He'll pay for our legal bills, as I'm on board with him here. Now, I don't know if you heard, Kieran. I've been hearing some rumours in the paddock about Luke and a certain Miss Swift. It just amazed me that everyone had been mistaking it for Alonso this whole time. I could have seen that coming a mile off. He is the richest person in the racing world. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that because you were racing yesterday, but that's the breaking news we've had. Luke is in fact dating Miss Swift.
I did see it on chat. I think after the qualifying. So I think he's going to have motivation now to try and finish. I try and press Taylor Swift.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, Luke, if you're watching this back, don't blame me. So everyone's in the pits at the moment. We've got Dragos also coming into the pits. Well, it's good we can bring you rumours from the paddock, those watching, because at the moment there's no one out on track. It's I know Inorganic will like this one, but it's there's that many rumours going around. It's like a Fleetwood Mac album in RPM at the moment. Andrew will be the next one to set a time. He's severely warming up those tyres at the moment. And we've got Mr. Spritzy in chat saying, "Good luck, Cosmo. Let's hope for a top 11 finish, mate."
Be optimistic.
I don't know if you put a bet on it this week, Spritzy. I know, unfortunately, the DSQ cost you the other night. But be sure to put a bet on with Bet RPM. There's Backer, saying evening. Backer on the back of a podium, and I've done it again. I did this last week, saying Backer, back, and more back. Yeah, he's got a podium last night. I was about to make a joke about him spinning around or other stuff, but I can't because he got third place, which is an amazingly amount better than what I've been able to do recently. I've also got in chat, as Andrew starts his lap here, Inorganic saying, "I just got back from Zolder. Taylor Swift is dating someone who is a lot richer than her, and yesterday I did see her leaving Luke's commentary booth." It's all too well we've got all this flowing in now, all this information.
The rumours are spreading very quickly.
It's like wildfire. Spritzy saying, "I bet on Cosmo not to finish lap 6 with 4 wheels." You could say, if that was to happen to Luke, his wheels are never getting back together. Back to Andrew's lap. Andrew, if you're watching this back going, I'm putting in a great lap here and he's chatting absolute rubbish. I apologise for that now. But Andrew, 1.2 seconds up at the moment, so that's going to give him potentially a 17.9. So we could be looking at 4th place or upwards at the moment with Davey and Colin very, very close. Smith saying Evil currently on course for a 4th straight pole position. That is absolutely right. Evil Master in such a rich vein of form at the moment. Here comes Andrew close to the pit wall. And he's put a 17.5 on, so it's a Red Bull 1-2, which is exactly the way the race finished last week. Robin in chat saying, "You can clearly see Evil is much more experienced without line." I think that comes with the maturity of him reaching the very, very old age of adolescence. He, back in the day, that would be a full life. Who have we got on our lap? We've got Luke, as we've been talking. Oh, he's invalidated his lap.
I think he'll be saying, as we went on to it, did he invalidate when you went on to him?
Yeah.
I think he'll be saying, "Look what he made me do."
Absolutely. Yeah, he's... I just on the Luke point, we had some great racing with Quinn last week. It's a real shame Quinn's not here tonight in the Mercedes, his brother. There's been a bit of bad blood between them this season, but Yeah, it's a shame not to see Quinn here taking on his brother for some more epic battles, as Higgsy takes a very nice line through the final corner. I like that a lot. Now, a theory from Spritzy saying maybe Colin stopped practicing to let some guys get closer. You never know. Never ever rule Colin out. The guy is rapid. Robin saying would have loved to challenge him, but I had wrist surgery yesterday, so I can't race till next game. Well, I hope your wrist is doing well. But there's a few other drivers who need to challenge first as well. Bocky saying, bloody hell, I woke up and chose violence this morning. As Colin, 17.2, 8.0, and that is just 3 thousandths quicker than Evil Master. That battle rages on. Mocky saying, evening guys, why are there 11 races? There's some other sporting event going on apparently, but the bet RPM's still getting all the money from it, so don't we worry about that.
Evil takes back the fastest lap.
Yeah, there we go. They're having a real battle for it at the moment. Ivor saying evening. Nice to have you along, Ivor. Spritzy saying that's a weak excuse, Robin. Spritzy, it sounds like his wrist is a little bit weaker at the moment. For God's sake, I just can't help myself. It's been a long week. And Robin saying falling with a gin bottle isn't a good idea. Don't drink, as Spritzy knows. I would never drink, and Spritzy never drinks either. Not even a pink gin and tonic. Anyway, back to the action. Dragos crossing the line, moving himself up to 9th. Osmo still yet to set a lap here. We'll go on board. He's managed to invalidate his outlap, but that doesn't matter too much. He's having a scenic route round that corner. Again, Cosmo, sorry if you're watching this back. I think this is because of my frustration with the game the last few weeks. I'm just being so sassy. Backer saying he's got his gin and tonic ready. Well, there we go. No diaper duty, Mr. Backer, says Ivor. Yeah, too right. No drinking on the job, Mr. Backer, please. Spritzy saying, Cosmo saving his tyres. Smart move. As Cosmo comes round the first corner, changes the whole layout of the corner. I think at the moment it's more of a statement of how he wants the circuit to look. Evil Master saying, I'm just cooking. I'm assuming that's talking about how he's improving as Cosmo invalidates. Again, Huss going very, very slowly. Who have we got on a lap? We've got Andrew, possibly. Evil saying he's cooking. I'm going to reply to that. What are you cooking? Maybe a spaghetti bolognese would be very nice this evening. And Backer's put the baby to bed. So he's with his gin and tonic watching the race. Very good. Now, Kieran, on to some actual racing stuff for a second. Any predictions for this evening?
Colin first. Evil second. And Andrew third. I think it's going to be the top 3 as it is now.
Okay. So you're expecting Colin to avenge his second place last week and put Evil Master back in second place. As Andrew boxes, so we've got have we got Huss? Huss is on a no, he's about to start a flying lap, so we'll go on board with Huss, see how he gets on. Evil Master saying he's taking it personally. Don't take it personally. I'm sure you are cooking. I just haven't eaten food yet tonight, so I was hoping you'd describe something tasty to me. Inorganic saying Evil Master first, Colin second, Davey third. So we've got a split in your household. Kieran, I think you almost took the easy option. As Spritzy makes his prediction, Cosmo in 11th. It's looking like a dead cert at the moment. And I'm going to make a prediction. I'm expecting a massive incident at the front, taking 3 cars out. Maggot's going to win from Luke. And then I'm going to go for Higgsy third. Just a bit of a gamble.
Just a bit of a gamble with everyone being taken out of the front.
But I know that Luke would find that absolutely gorgeous if he could get a podium, and I know we'd certainly be enchanted, and it would meet all of his wildest dreams. As Huss and Dragos, oh, that was Cosmo, as Luke is actually off the track here in the gravel track at turn 1. He's got his teammate coming not far behind him, and we'll go on board with this to see how Colin gets on. This is now the battle for pole. Might need to actually switch to Evil Master, who's a bit further up the road, and catch Colin's end of the lap to see if Evil Master moves this at all in his favour.
Yeah, Evil's gone purple sector 1.
And there we go, Kieran with the telemetry again, bailing me out. And
he's on purple sector 2 though.
But he's still 2.5 temps up here, so he will move it by half a second for Colin. I think Luke's had another moment in sector 2 there, and Colin is still, I believe, is moving in the right direction. Just check that quickly. As now Evil Master coming towards the line, he'll cross the line now, and he does go faster, only by 2 temps, but it's enough at the moment. But what can Colin do? Colin hasn't improved through the first 2 sectors from what I can see, but can he get it right in the sector 3? He crosses the line now. He does improve, but it's not enough, so Evil Master could be on for 4 straight poles. Can Andrew do anything about this? Andrew now going through the first sector, so he's left it the latest out of everyone, and he was up on his time in the first sector, but it's not going to be enough at the moment. But once again, Red Bull going very, very well, and they're ending this season so strongly at the moment, Kieran, the Red Bulls.
If only they was here all season. We could have got like maybe a title fight. That would be exciting to commentate on.
Absolutely. I don't know who the Red Bull driver was before Evil Master, but his performances were subpar. Too much changing of diapers, probably. And Andrew now, he did set a purple second sector, as he held it all together, but he only improves by attempts, so super quick in a second sector, but it's not enough. Volcano pitting, Davey has finished his lap, and that is the grid for us tonight. Cosmo not quite managing to set a lap. Backer saying he's not got a clue who that Red Bull driver could be. It must be an amateur. Yeah, he was pretty amateur. Ivor saying Colin, Davey, Volcano is his prediction. 2 DNFs and Cosmo out lap 17. That sounds like a bet builder to me. We'll give you the odds now, just running it through the system, and that's 250 to 1. Get your stake in. Evil Master saying he's cooking again. The garlic bread's gone into the oven. Mocky saying Evil, Colin and Volcano. So he's expecting Volcano to jump Andrew. And Backer saying it might have been De Vries. He was definitely Dutch, I know that much.
Definitely not Verstappen.
Spritz, yeah, definitely not Verstappen. And now you see the grid. I see Spritzy saying, lap 17, Ivor, you must be drunk. Well, maybe we'll have to have the odds on Ivor of having drinks tonight. He's saying Cosmo's going to get to lap 17. Cosmo, if you're watching this back, you're getting a hell of a lot of live. Inorganic saying Maggot flying the flag for Aston Martin. Yeah, in 6th place there. At least we've got one decent Aston Martin driver in this division. I know we've got Mocky now, who's doing well in 1st division, and then unfortunately he's got some kind of idiot with him in the other car. Now I'm choosing. Uh, it must be this first beer of the day. Don't drink, just gamble. Bet RPM. Right, so we've got a lot of predictions here. I'll try and keep track of them as well as I can. In organic, so let's hope it doesn't disconnect. Well, this is further than I got on the pit lane here. Iverson, he's not yet drunk. Well, I'm sure you'll give it your best go.
Look at that rain.
Umbrellas out just above the garages there. And I'm
The
surprised.
rain looks heavier than it did yesterday. Plus, it's gonna last longer. I still think it'll be Inters.
I'm confused about here, just as another talking point. That whole, I don't know if you can see above the garage here where they've all got their umbrellas out. Seems a bit strange because they are all under the roof. So those umbrellas, they're just making their arms ache for no reason at all here. Just an observation, you know. You don't have to take any interest in it. I just thought I'd let everyone know that's what I'm thinking right now. Cosmo in the rain, max 4 laps. That's the three pit stops before. Spritzy has woke up and chose violence as well. See, of course, my old commentating partner. You can see where we've set going in after people at the moment, and I won't bother getting the tyres up here because I think we know everyone will be on Inters.
Everyone is on Inters.
I'm really disappointed we didn't see anyone take softs. I wanted to see a gamble.
I want to see hards.
Mock is saying what a lot of hate to Cosmo. Spritzy saying her pay doesn't even make it past the formation lap. As Brian joins the chat. Evening, Brian. Nice to have you along. And Ivor saying no, still lap 17. Are there new odds? Let's make some money. Well, you got 250 to 1. If you let me know your stake, I can do more calculations. Obviously, if you win, please don't contact Bet RPM if you don't receive your winnings. You can if you go to Discord and there's a man called Luke on there, he will settle the amount for you. Brian saying nice weather, absolutely lovely, and Evil Master just wanting to maybe mow the grass a little bit there, and
I'm sure Cosmo's not driving it.
Well, Evil Master was cooking his tyres.
Yeah.
Backer saying Inters to hards is the way to go. Yes, but there's a lot more rain expected for this race than it was last night. And Backer saying that was a nice line from Evil Master. Well, don't worry, he's cooking, so no problems at all here. He's catching up now, and he'll take his position on the grid if he doesn't run into the back of Andrew. Right, so we're all lined up. I don't know if you want to do the honours tonight, Mr. Kieran.
Yeah, we're waiting for the Alpines to line up. Also, I've noticed Luke in 9th. I think he'll want to make as much positions as swiftly as possible. He will have Cosmo behind him, so... He will have Cosmo behind him, so expect him to go flying off at turn 1.
And here we go, Mr. Kieran.
5 lights. Okay, let's go.
And absolutely beautiful timed from the absolutely brilliant Kieran now. And we're battling straight away. Colin on the inside. And there's contact.
Evil spun.
And Evil has spun, and Colin clipping his back wheel. And I think he is waiting for Evil Master possibly there. He's moving very slowly, is Colin, and he is going to let Evil through.
I don't know what line Cosmo's taking.
But Cosmo, absolutely brilliant start there. He's up 2 places. Andrew now takes first position, and he's absolutely loving this. And Colin still behind. And Cosmo nearly takes the front end off Evil's car. Oh, he's squirming everywhere, and Collins actually got stuck behind him there. So those guys have got a lot to make up. But let's have a look what's happening in the pack out front. And they're all right on top of each other. I know Luke could be looking for a blank space as quick as possible, but he's stuck behind all the cars at the moment. As Huss goes very, very wide there, and he keeps his foot in round the outside, and he's past Higgsy. Luke now right on the back of Higgsy here, as Andrew and Davey and Volcano taking those podium positions, and Evil Master and Colin with it all to do to get back into this race at the moment. But don't count them out, their pace looks brilliant. Smith saying Colin's got very minor front wing damage. Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I imagine Evil's probably got, it just seemed to be the tyre contact for him. Cosmo has front wing damage according to Smith. I think Spritzy will be happy with that one when reviewing his bet. So the timings, as you can see on the left-hand side there, for me is a little bit messed up. I'm pretty sure Volcano after one lap isn't a minute and 30 seconds behind Davey.
I'm also seeing that.
Yeah.
I don't think Cosmo's one is messed up.
Well, Cosmo, he's got Colin still in sight. I think Cosmo's going to have a decent race. He's in the points at the moment. He's going very well. And Andrew and Davey really trying to pull away from Volcano at the moment. It's very annoying that we haven't got the actual deltas or the intervals up between them, so it's hard to actually see what's happening. But I do know we've got a very tight battle in the midfield as I try and get a good camera angle. And Evil Master now having a look at Luke. Luke goes wide onto the painted surface. He's not going to get any grip out there. And Evil Master now back up to 7th. Or ETA Evil, as I guess I should be calling him. Brian said there's no damage for Evil, right? Not that I can see. It doesn't look to be at all. I think it was just, it clips his tyre and that spun him round. But Colin does have a bit of front wing damage. You can see him there going through the final corner now. Spritzy saying, I'm engineering Cosmo and he just told me not to panic because he's got this. Watch out, guys. He's got something surprise in reserve. Yeah, I think Cosmo's building himself into this race. He's being nice and patient as Evil now goes wheel to wheel with Higgsy, and he'll be through by turn 2. And he's already starting to make inroads into the guys in front. Well, your prediction has got off to a horrible start here, Kieran.
It really has. I mean, how can you really expect Colin to, do something like that? And he was like, was it his fault? I can't really remember it now, but I think he just tapped the rear right tyre of Evil.
Yeah, I think probably a bit of understeer in the wet going into that corner, and it did look a bit scruffy, but I think it's easily done in the wet. And to be fair, great sportsmanship by Colin to let Evil back past. He clearly wasn't happy with what had happened, so fair play to Colin for that. But at the moment, Colin, with that wing damage, he'll be lacking some downforce. And I could see him just moving around a little bit there as Cosmo now picking up a 3-second penalty. This must be the strategy that Spritzy's been telling us about. And yeah, Colin's still 1.3 seconds adrift of his teammate at the moment as Evil Master now right behind Huss. He's having a look. He waits, and this is the new mature Evil Master, and he'll have a look at turn 2, I would think. Has to wait even longer.
Cosmo's into the pits. And Cosmo's retired.
And that is lap 4. Sprint. As I said, if you drop Luke a message in Discord, you can claim your winnings there. We might have to start changing the name to Bet Luke at some point. As Evil Master, an unusual place for an overtake, going around the outside. But Huss is having none of it and shoves his car straight back up the inside. A little bit of contact, and Evil is now really being made to wait. Maybe Huss is just trying to defend, help out his teammate Davey. Huss still on the inside, and he's trying to get it stopped. But Evil going around the outside now, and he is through. and he is away, but Huss costing him some time in the middle sector as Davey and Andrew now 3 seconds ahead of Volcano. Ivor has already lost his 250 to 1 bet on Cosmo getting to at least lap 17. That hasn't figured out that way. But here we go. We've got Davey in close behind Andrew. We'll watch this little battle for a second, and I'll keep a little eye on Evil and Colin's progress in the left-hand side of your screen there.
I saw that Luke got a 3-second time penalty during the battle, so he'll be looking to shake it off and just move on. He's got Dragos 4 seconds behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about the penalty for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that's what Luke will be trying to do. He's currently down in 9th and struggling a little bit so far this evening, but we know about his racecraft, and people might start to pick up penalties. Evil now gaining on the Aston Martin. I'm not biased at all, but come on, Maggot. You've got this. And Evil getting out of shape over the hill there, as Dragos now the latest driver to fall foul of track limits. And Huss
as well.
Following him, yeah. Maybe feeling a bit of sympathy for Dragos, goes and gets himself a 3rd warning and therefore a 3-second time penalty. Evil is driving very, very sensibly at the moment and just trying to set up these overtakes, and he's going to set this up for the straight. But Maggot actually getting not bad traction out of there, even though Evil Master was trying to switch it round the inside. And I think without DRS, you might struggle to get past. He's going to go for it. He's going for it. He's using the ERS. Maggot might know this is a battle he doesn't need to necessarily take. And maybe Evil going up the road won't be too much of a problem for him.
Yellow flag says Lucas Spurn.
Yeah, Luke is not having the best of evenings tonight. Maybe Taylor's talking to him whilst he's trying to drive and he's getting distracted. As Evil Master now diving up the inside of Volcano. Volcano hanging it round the outside, but he's not going to get much grip on that green surface. And Evil is through again, and Mocky saying Evil equals Max Verstappen. He's certainly driving like him right now. Ivor saying his ACC teammate will take a podium. Well, Davey's looking very good for it at the moment. He's got a gap to Evil Master, but Evil Master absolutely flying. I don't know what's happened to Colin. Colin is off. He was gaining places. I don't know if he's had an issue with Higgsy there, but he's off and moving very gingerly. And Higgsy also having some issues. Inorganic saying Luke and Gravel is a love story. Absolutely right tonight, and that's not usually what you see from Luke. But I think, it's Colin now in 10th. He's behind Luke, and he's moving very, very slowly. I don't know if he's got bad damage here. Colin may well have damage. Well, worse than just the front wing now. I don't know if we can see that on the telemetry anywhere. And let's see if he comes in.
Rear wing damage and diffuser damage.
And that would explain the issue. So I don't know what exactly happened to Colin. He might have hit a barrier somewhere. He comes into the pits and we might see a retirement. We do. So Colin, for the first time this season, will not finish on the podium. And that is going to open up a lot of possibilities for the guys in front, as he won't be able to chase through. And what a shame for Colin tonight. Just an instant in turn 1 with a bit of understeer on the wet track, and it's cost him dearly tonight. And, well, we know Colin will be back stronger. And that just leaves Luke as the only Ferrari in the race now. And you could almost say you're on your own, kid. And we've got, again, Red Bull 1 and 3 going very well as Luke picks up another 3-second penalty. I think it's one of those races, you've just got to stick with it as much as you can. If you've got rear wing and diffuser damage, as Colin had, you're fighting a losing battle for sure. But with the other guys who've got the penalties, you can stick with it. There's not many people on the grid and anything could be possible in these conditions. Although I am starting to see a bit of a drier line starting to form here, Kieran. So I wonder if someone will start to think this might dry quickly like it did last night and start thinking about getting the dry tyres ready.
Well, I've just checked the weather. They're still going to be rain for another 30 minutes. So, it'll be interesting gamble if somebody starts to pair the dry tyres now. But we all have a gamble.
Yeah, absolutely. Backers saying get those hard tyres on. I personally, I'd prefer to take the softs or something here at the moment if I was to do anything to get a bit of grip. It's certainly not ready for it now, but it dried so quickly last night, even when it was raining. It almost seemed like it went around one lap and then it was dry. So that was we've seen that a few times this season on this version of the game. But Evil Master chasing down, and Davey, I think, thinking I need to get on with this because I'm in a Red Bull sandwich at the moment, and he is now right on the back of Andrew. I will be very pleased to see that.
Two tenths off. Yeah, Andrew does have ERS advantage over Davey, and Evil has less ERS than both. But Davey can't get past.
Yeah, and I believe Evil's been draining that to catch the front guys back up, and well, he's certainly done that very well. But he's then got to overtake them, and that might be more difficult. I think Maggot certainly didn't seem to want to race Evil hard. He knows he's got his own race to manage. You know, and he knows if I keep my race clean and they go up the road and battle, they might make contact and take each other out. You never know. So I think that's a sensible move. But Davey and Andrew, it changes when you're fighting for podium positions and races. You don't want to let people get past. You don't want to lose the opportunity to keep them behind you. So it's going to definitely be more difficult for Evil to get himself back into first position now, past Davey and Andrew, who seem to be on a pretty similar pace to him, though around this lap at least.
Yeah, I wonder if it does dry, and Andrew and Evil are still close together. Will like one of them pit lap early or lap late?
Well, that's absolutely a great point, and I don't know if they are in contact. I'm going to assume, for theory's sake, they're not. And Andrew might be thinking, well, I could take the race win here almost by making sure I pit first. So if Evil does come in, he's slow to a stop. As Evil past Davey now, and he's going well. Maggot picking up a 3-second penalty. Oh, and Evil's round! And he's into the wall quite hard, so he might have some damage. And as the Heart has to take avoiding action as Evil rejoins the track. Maggot Volcano promoted back up, but I don't know if Evil Master will have some damage there. He hit that barrier quite hard with his rear wing, and he might be suffering a similar problem to Colin here. And maybe
I'm just checking the damage now.
Yeah, and Davey might have some front wing damage there, to be fair.
Yeah, apparently they both have front wing damage. So, Higgsy's retired.
As Higgsy's retired, and he was going slow after the incident with Colin. So I wonder if they both picked up some damage. I don't know if they had an incident together, but they were certainly both moving slowly around the same part of the track. So maybe they both picked up a bit of damage, and
this is perfect opportunity for Andrew. 3 seconds in the lead now.
Yeah, and he's you'd have to say Andrew, with his driving this year, he's had some good results, but he's been on the verge of some wins. He's been up there, and I think everyone here would be pleased for Andrew to get a win. Inorganic saying Higgsy had no damage. Oh. So Higgsy just maybe wanting to go and watch Brighton get absolutely destroyed. I'm sure Entity's absolutely enjoying himself a great deal at the moment. But yeah, Andrew clearing off into the lead. Davey 3.6 behind now, and obviously struggling more with his front wings. That's going to bring Volcano and Maggot into play for the podium. Evil still moving and seems to be moving at a decent pace, so hopefully no rear wing damage for him.
Yeah, if Evil is cooking, I think he's burned the house down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Andrew spun!
And Andrew has spun, and he's spun at the top of the hill, and they're all... There's a lot to happen in this race still, because people are making mistakes left, right and centre, and all of a sudden Davey inherits lead, Maggot up to third, and Volcano up to second. But it's exactly what I said about Maggot, making it easy enough for Evil to get past. He all of a sudden finds himself in the podium positions, and it's about picking your battles out here today. And Inorganic saying Andrew has a damaged wing. Thank you, Inorganic Pinkham, on the Sky pad there. So it's all changing at the moment.
Yeah, one thing I did want to say is that Ferrari haven't won the Constructors yet, so this probably, and Red Bull are the closest to win it, but in the way they're driving now, obviously isn't for that opportunity, and so Luke in 8th, bringing in the most points for Ferrari right now.
Yeah, and well, it's a big opportunity for Red Bull tonight. If they can go and take a 1 and 2 and take a fastest lap with it, they've already got the point for pole position. It could be a big swing in the Constructors. Currently at the moment they're not maximising that down in 4th and 5th. It will still gain them points, but having both of them led the race at one point, now sit back in the pack and behind the Aston Martin of Maggot. Davey seems to be managing that gap now. He's 2.8 seconds ahead of Volcano, so Davey seems to have got to grips with that front wing damage. I saw Evil getting a bit out of shape on the entry to the penultimate corner.
I think when being the last time Luke was probably getting more points than Connie, and probably go back to December.
Absolutely right. I think that's definitely a true statement. As Evil clearly feeling no effects from that front wing damage, goes and pumps in another fastest lap, and he thinks I'll pick up a 3-second penalty. So, battles resumed. Brings Maggot back into play for the podium.
Yeah, Evil is behind him again, so will Maggot let him go as easily this time, or gonna hold on?
Maggot's he's had some unlucky races, but for the most part, especially the first half of the season, he was Mr. Consistent. As Evil gets out of shape on the curb there, you've got to be oh so careful on these curbs in the wet conditions. I think Maggot's racecraft's very good. He knows what battles to pick, and he for the most part, keeps himself out of trouble, and that's why he was doing so well in the first half of the season. And I think that's what he's doing tonight again. Inorganic in chat saying, I'm trying to get an interview with Higgsy in the pit lane. Yes, please do. We'd like to hear more about Higgsy's race. What exactly happened to him. Well, your predictions off the table, Mr. Kieran. There was someone in the chat, and chat might have to remind me here, I don't think had Colin on the podium, so they may still be in it to win it. Everyone else, yeah, I know. As we've seen from 3 drivers tonight, they've been in it to bin it. Oh, for God's sake. Well, Evil very, very close again. Of course, no DRS in these conditions. And he's going to be too far back. And Maggot, not necessarily making it too difficult, but he's got good enough pace to keep Evil behind at the moment. And actually, just looking out in front of this, the gap's not changing too much from Evil to Davey, to be fair. But Volcano is starting to close on Davey. He's took 8 tenths out of him in the last 2 laps. So he is starting to find a bit of rhythm and a bit of pace.
So we're gonna get a battle for third and then a battle for first. So all of the podium drivers could be in a battle. I just remember the battle data. We can put in their names.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. With Smith's beautiful telemetry system he's kindly provided us here at RPM, we are able to see a lot of stuff now going on in the race other than what's happening on your screens. As Evil Master, how the hell did he save that? Unbelievable piece of driving. He was going sideways like Petter Solberg coming out of that final corner, and somehow he has kept the car on the track, as now Maggot going a bit wide. And I don't know if this dry line is just making those intermediates suffer a little bit. It's not quite there for dry tyres at the moment, but clearly these inters really starting to get a bit sketchy and overheating, and it might be worth having a look at if there's any tyre wear data as well, as Andrew does pit, but he's going to come back out on intermediates, so he's not taking any risks on it yet. But clearly the Inter's not liking track conditions at the moment. I'm not seeing... Oh, as Maggot goes sideways now... Yeah, he's luckily managed to get it turned around fairly quick, and he'll be on his way. He'll still be in fourth position. And I think Andrew may have pitted too early, but people might have to start pitting because of the tyre wear on these Inters. But I don't know if you can see this. I can barely see any rain coming down on the track anymore. And I think this is going to dry up really, really quick.
That means Andrew would have pitted at the worst time. I will check the weather now. We apparently have rain for the next 15 minutes, so unless my the telemetry is wrong.
I'm just looking from on board, and it's certainly not raining too hard.
Let's get more rain later on.
And obviously these tyres are kicking water off the track. They will clear the track as they go round it. I think a Dragos or a Luke. That's who I want to see, maybe thinking, let's get on these dry tyres early.
Go for a gamble.
Absolutely. You know, it's what I do, but I do it very unsuccessfully. I'd either disconnect way before this point or just bin it as soon as I put the dry tyres on. But I'd like to see it anyway. It's just, what I can see is it seems like quite dry, especially on this line through certain sectors of the track. But up the hill there where they've just come down from, where I'm watching Davey, by the way, it was really wet up the top of the hill on track, and it's quite wet through this final corner. And then you can see the dry line, that darker piece of track, really starting to form. But obviously the other issue with that is, if you go offline, and I can see Davey was moving off the dry line to try and cool his tyres down. So he knows that he needs to keep these inters going because the dry tyres are going to come out, but it's not quite ready for it yet.
Well, Volcano has striking distance in 6 laps. If even it's going to be raining by then. It's going to be inters. They both have 2 warnings, so they both need to take it carefully. And Volcano gained like a 10th last lap. He was fastest through sector 1, but Davey was faster through sector 2 and 3.
I can tell you as well, Davey currently with 42% tyre wear on the front left. So the tyres are worn, but maybe not quite as bad as I was thinking. But as the track starts to heat up, that tyre wear is going to go through the roof. And yeah, Inorganic saying inters are starting to drop off. That's certainly what we're seeing. I'm going to have a look at Evil Master's tyre wear now, because he's been pushing hard, and we've seen him have a few spins. He's up at 46%. I think someone's going to pull the trigger pretty soon, and just try and keep it on the. Even if you do it a lap early, the gains you can start to make are so huge. But for these top three, they don't need to take that risk at the moment. They can take it till it's dry. They've got the gap behind. But for maybe Hus, Maggot, Dragos, Luke, who've found themselves a bit cut adrift, they are going to possibly take that gamble first to try and get themselves back into the race. Andrew, if people do start moving to the dry tyres, it's really going to mess up his race a little bit. He was leading till that spin. As we see, Volcano must have had a moment, maybe not. Evil's just passed him, and
Yeah, Evil went down the inside at the hairpin.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought I mistaked here, and I thought Volcano was leading for some reason. So it's like, oh, he's lost 2 places, but clearly not. Evil now getting past, and just seeing him pull away, and he is right up the road after Davey here.
Well, Evil has striking distance of 2 laps on Davey, so a lot quicker than Volcano was. But Evil does still have that penalty.
Yeah, that's very true. I actually forgot about his penalty there. Let me have a little look at what penalties we've got there. So Dragos currently on 9, Luke on 6, and then 3 apiece for Hus, Maggot, and Evil Master. I'm really desperate to see someone take a gamble, Mr. Kieran.
Want to see someone going soft?
I really do. I think medium's going to be the tyre they'll take just because of the laps left. But I mean, if you want ultimate grip on a damp track that's drying, it would be the softs to go for. Evil now just 9 attempts behind. And gaining very, very quickly on Davey at the moment, as Davey has a moment and Evil Master is going to fly past. And Davey now demoted down to second, as Andrew now picks up a 3-second penalty. So both Red Bulls with track warning penalties. And now Evil will start to stretch his legs and try and pull a gap out on Volcano and Davey and take this win. And that would make it 2 wins in a row if he could do that.
Evil would actually go up to 7th in the Premier Division if he stays like this.
Yeah, and he's been really maximising his points since he joined Premier Division as a permanent driver. Just going to go on board with Andrew, who's still behind Luke. And Luke holding him off nicely at the moment. Andrew will be desperate to get past, especially on his fresh inters. But nothing doing at the moment. But he's got a very long straight coming up shortly. And he's got very, very close to the back of Luke there. Luke probably struggling on grip around this point with those inters overheating and overworn. But Andrew just getting a little bit out of shape. But you can see he's got the grip over Luke at the moment. Also attacking the curbs. And that's very impressive. Very brave at this point. But not quite helping him enough. And I think Luke will remain ahead at this point. And this is important in the Constructors' battle because Evil will take maximum points. Luke can at least stop one of the Red Bulls getting more points.
Yeah, Red Bull are gonna gain about 40 points on Ferrari.
Yeah, and it's... How many races have we got left after this? 3 races after this, so it's still doable for them to take the Constructors.
The gap's at about like 104.
So they could do with
points.
At least... They really need a 1-2 tonight to really make it more possible, but you never know. I think they have gained a lot in the last few weeks, especially with Luke missing a couple of weeks and the emergence of Evil at the front of the pack with Colin.
Finally, Red Bull are always this competitive throughout the entire season.
Yeah, no, certainly giving it a good go towards the end of the season. And Andrew, here we go, round 2. He's definitely got a better exit this time, but Luke seems to have pretty good speed down the straights, and I wonder if Luke's using ERS. He definitely is. Andrew's going to have to wait till at least the next straight here now, and maybe try and get him down into turn 6, I think it will be, down at the hairpin.
Turn 5.
Turn 5, there we go. I can't even count anymore. And Luke will hold on to that, but Andrew getting super close under braking, and he could have possibly sent that up the inside if he'd been more confident, but obviously he positioned himself behind, and he's going to have to sit there for a little bit longer. And still no one taken to the pits, and it doesn't look like it's got much drier than it had a few laps ago, to be fair, at this point, but I know that the guys staying out on inters, they're just knowing it will get dry. Otherwise, they wouldn't be staying out on these inters. They'll be pitting for fresh ones.
Yeah, I think mediums will probably be the way to go. I think it's too far for softs, yet too short for hard tyres. So I expect to see mediums to the end. Now, Andrew's gonna go for it again on Luke. Luke seems to have the X here.
Yeah, and Luke's going to hold on to it for at least another few corners here. As Evil Master now 2.5 seconds ahead of Davey out in front, and Andrew very well held. We've seen a few moments from the Red Bulls. And nearly running into the back of Luke there, and that's not going to help him down this straight. Luke will survive for another few corners. And Andrew, probably where we saw Evil coming through the field, just needs to set these overtakes up a little bit. At the moment, I think he's starting to see a bit of desperation creep in. I think that'll partly be because he was leading and he knew he was going to have a good race. And unfortunately, the spin has cost him dearly, and possibly the tyre change should it get dry.
Yeah, but Luke has 6-second penalty. Andrew only has 3-second time penalty, so he's already ahead of Luke. But I was gonna.
Well, he's having a look
Oh,
here.
they're making contact.
Yeah, and wheel to wheel.
Andrew's now got ahead.
And I don't think Luke will be happy with that one. He sees the number 2 Red Bull go past, and the only Red Bull he'd be wanting to let past is a number 22. But there we go. And takes it away from Ferrari. Can he go on and get more? He needs to close up 6 seconds towards Dragos, and he'll play for here. But if it doesn't dry up, Andrew onto these tyres, although he did get held up for a few laps. It's all going to come down to what the track decides to do, what temperatures we manage to get into it.
Yeah, and seeing Andrew pull away from Luke, can say they'll never be back together.
Yeah, that's Evil pumps in another fastest lap now, and he's 4.4 seconds clear of Davey behind. Volcano Davey though, so that battle for second place still on, and Evil can't afford to make mistakes, even though he is pulling away, because he's got a 3-second penalty at the moment. So if he does, Davey could steal it, and even Volcano with that penalty.
Less than a second now. I think they both still have 2 warnings, so they'll try not to exceed track limits. Andrew sets the fastest lap. He obviously had Luke holding him up. Now he's on them fresh inters, going
Into
at a much faster pace.
He's now 7.5 seconds behind. So much time out of Dragos there. You can see Dragos just going around the left-hander, Andrew emerging from the hairpin, and there's Luke in behind. Still, I mean, there is absolutely no rain now that I can see, but the track's still not drying as much as you would have thought, but could be like yesterday where it seems to dry over one lap.
Well, he hasn't seemed to. It doesn't look like it's going that way this race.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not at the moment. I want to see some dry running.
Okay, I was half a second behind Davey now. So, neither of them have a penalty yet. Evo has 3 seconds, so no chance. Not a huge chance there. They can push for victory. Andrew set another fast lap, 6 seconds behind Dragos now. Dragos has a, what was it, 9 seconds? Yeah, Dragos has 9 seconds, so.
And Andrew's in the window, so he will be taking 6th if it finishes now.
Andrew's now 4 seconds behind Dragos, so he is catching very quickly. I'll get the battle term entry on. See when he's gonna catch up to him.
Yeah, and Maggot actually picking himself up a penalty there, so he's up to 6 seconds of penalties. Yeah, Andrew's absolutely flying out on track at the but he's got those fresh inters on, and we can't. These drivers out on track could start to get into some serious issues with. Currently, Andrew behind his teammate, though. I'm going to have a little look at the gaps to the leader there. He's 47 seconds away, so he's not really going to trouble Evil Master at the moment. He needs to keep pumping in the times and hope Evil makes a mistake if he wants to take the win. But you never know. People could get punctures the way this is going.
Yeah, wonder what the tyre wear is for some
I've just got
drivers.
it. Oh, Evil puts in a fastest lap of the race. He wants that extra 2 points. He wants maximum points again. Evil has got 70% wear on the front left, and I imagine that's going up and going up at the moment. I'm going to also check on the other runners. Going to have a little look at Volcano here, who's on 65%, and maybe a little look at Maggot as well to see the guys in front. And he's 60% wear, so he's managed them a little bit better than the guys around him. They might be able to get to the. I mean, Evil's tyre wear's not looking great. He's had a few spins, and the track temperatures, now it's not raining, will be getting warmer, so the tyres are going to be wearing at an increased rate. But he's not showing any signs of that affecting him with setting the fastest lap last lap.
Yeah, it was in a fastest lap battle.
You know what?
His own teammate.
If I was in this race now, I'm looking at the track on board. I'd be taking the dry tyres in the next lap or the lap after. And will we see anyone do it? Evil is coming round the final corner now. And he is staying out. Will Davey stay out? I imagine he will, running in second place. He does, and so does Volcano. Now, Maggot could be the one to try something different. I see in Organic saying it's getting into soft territory. I certainly believe it is. It still looks wet there, but you can see there's a lot more drier patches, and I think people might miss a trick here if they don't do it. These guys out back, though, if they're a bit further behind, it could dry a lot more in the time it takes them to get round. Will Huss take the gamble? Yeah, Inorganic saying he'd go soft now. If I'm being totally honest, I'd go soft now, and I love to see it. He's my favourite driver in Premier Division now. Here comes Huss, and we're going to see some red striped tyres being put onto this car. Now, the guys at the front might not know he's in the pits here because they won't see him in the leaderboard on their screen. They only get to see a few drivers around them. So
Luke
they
is
might
into the
not take
pit
the
as
gamble.
well.
Oh, I love it, Luke. That's why Taylor Swift, for strategy calls like that, that's why she is going to proms with Luke. And will Evil now pit? It certainly looks like he's going to. Yeah, he comes in. And will Davey and Volcano now take a risk and just say, well, he's got to close up on us? And Davey not taking that risk, and neither is Volcano. Maggot certainly won't, I don't think. But I think people like Davey and Volcano, if they took the soft that lap earlier where Luke and Huss took the risk, they could have actually been going round closing the gap, because you can see how bone dry it is now out on track. And we're just going to see everyone re-emerge in exactly the same positions, unfortunately, I think. Andrew, though, on those intermediates, he's going to still be stuck in this battle for 5th place. And it's going to hurt him, really. He could have been up there in 4th, in the battle for 4th and 3rd, but pitting onto those inters cost him as Huss picks up a penalty. And we're going to see a bit of a dash for fastest lap. I think Evil might have that one covered with his pace at the moment. But Davey, just 2 seconds behind Evil. And Evil's got a 3-second penalty. So this isn't over. Davey just needs to try and do some absolutely qualifying laps to stick with him here. And we do have a yellow flag somewhere.
Oh, that's Luke spinning.
That's Luke, yeah. He's lost it on one of the curbs at the outside by the looks of it. And Davey is keeping with Evil at the moment. He's just set the purple second sector. And Davey might be able to take a win here. He's been unlucky already this season, losing a win to a penalty. Can he finally get a bit of redemption on that? He's just got to stay within 3 seconds of Evil. He's currently 2 seconds back. He can't afford to lose another 9 tenths. But Evil Master looks like he's probably burning his ERS. That's absolutely what he's been doing. He's now 2.5 seconds ahead. He's trying to build the gap. Davey's trying to close the gap. It's all to play for going into the final 3 laps here as Davey misses the apex. That's not going to help his cause.
That's lost him a lot of time. Now he's outside 3 seconds.
Yeah. And that could prove to be ever so costly, especially if he keeps it around this margin now as Huss with the fastest lap after being the first to take the risk. And Huss finding himself in 5th place, but he's got Andrew to deal with, just 1.9 seconds outside his penalty window. So Andrew could manage to get up to 5th place here.
Yeah, Andrew needs to close 1.8 seconds. Yeah,
Takes the fastest lap.
1.4.
Trying to get any points he can.
No, Huss has spun.
Huss has spun. Yeah, and Huss is off. So, just getting overtaken by Andrew. So Andrew now, as Dragos and Huss now making a bit of contact. So Andrew will be able to get himself back into the top 5 and get those points. But Luke has taken the fastest lap for Ferrari, trying to get any points away from the Red Bulls he can. I think he's had another moment, and it's very impressive that Luke managed to get that fastest lap considering he's burnt those tyres out with the spin at the last corner. Evil now built that gap up, and I think Davy's chances have deserted him for that win. He's 5 seconds back, and he's actually got Volcano to worry about now, 1.4 seconds behind him. And we've also got Huss and Dragos doing a bit of battle down the main straight here.
Huss has gone down the inside. Dragos went over the curb there, and I assuming DRS has been enabled. I haven't seen anything saying that. Oh yeah, DRS has. But Dragos has got DRS again on Husuk. It's not close enough to make a move.
Yeah, and I think Huss has looked pretty quick tonight, so he'll be hoping to extend that gap. Dragos, obviously, with the 3 seconds more of penalty, so he won't be able to make that up at the moment if Huss stays ahead. Now, I'm going to go back towards Volcano and Davy, because this gap is coming down slowly but surely. Volcano's running out of time a little bit, but he might be able to push himself up to second place here. He's 1.4 seconds back. He needs to find at least 7 tenths on the next 2 laps to take Davy, but he's now 1.1 back. He's found 3 tenths in that corner. He's coming at the moment to challenge Davy for second position as Andrew takes the fastest lap back for Red Bull, and Luke unfortunately picking up another 3-second penalty, but Luke has stuck with it today, and he will get points for 8th. A bit of damage limitation there for Ferrari, and Volcano still just 1.1 seconds back. Could do with finding another tenth or so through here, because then he will be given a bit of DRS to help his cause to get second place. These 2 drivers actually in second and third doing brilliantly well tonight, whereas we've seen a lot of penalties throughout the field. They've managed to keep it clean. Evil Master saying, Andrew, I want the fastest lap, and he takes it back. That's an extra 2 points to Evil Master. Of it, but we might see those times coming down and down as the track temperatures go up. This is the last lap, and Volcano now just 9 tenths behind Davy, and he will have DRS going through the next straight. DRS will be opening wide here, but he's too far back. Davy getting an excellent exit there, but can he do it in the braking zone? And Volcano actually here might stand a chance for fastest lap of the race, because he'll be helped by the DRS ever so slightly. As Andrew now in a battle with his teammate for the fastest lap, taking that back, and he's got another lap to do it with. Evil, I assume we'll see him set the fastest lap very, very shortly, and he's also, to add insult to the Ferraris, lapped Luke. And I'm just gonna stay on board for this as long as I can. I will watch Evil cross the line. I missed it last week, which was completely my fault. We got a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Luke off the road again. And Volcano is going to be a little bit too far back. I'll go over to Evil, who will take the win after an early incident, but a great run back through the field. Davy will come across the line in second place, closely followed by Volcano. Maggot 21 seconds behind. What could have been for him tonight, but a spin in sector 2 costing him dearly. But a 4th place will be a very, very good finish and some great points. And then we'll have Andrew, Huss, Dragos and Luke will round that off after a very reduced field, but 3 DNFs throughout it. No safety cars though this evening. All retirements in the pit lane. Andrew now trying to make sure of that fastest lap. I'll go and see who has. Andrew has taken the fastest lap, unless Huss and Dragos can do anything about it. Huss to the line now. Doesn't take the fastest lap, and neither does Dragos, and that is our finish for this evening. Whew. How did you find that, Kieran?
That was certainly interesting result with, Colin retiring and all that. And then having Volcano and Davy battle for second out towards the end. So I was entertained to see. I was hoping for some safety cars. I mean, have you had any safety cars all week?
Yeah, and I don't think we've had safety cars for a little. I can't remember. Maybe we have. Maybe I'm just forgetting. But I feel like we've being seen a bit less of the safety cars in the last few races. Evil takes his second win in a row on the back of 4 pole positions in a row, and a man in form in Premier Division at the moment. Davey and Volcano with much deserved podiums, going very well to take those podiums, and they'll be very, very pleased with that. Luke said in Portugal, never on the calendar ever again.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, I quite liked it. I was having a good race, so I disconnected. Yeah, and I think Luke will be saying to Portugal, "I knew you were trouble." Luke saying, "I will put all my money and bring it to court if needed." Well, we don't want to get into any legal battles with you, Luke. We know your firepower in the money department, so I guess Portugal will never be seen in RPM again. Right, so you got anything to sum up there, Mr. Kieran?
Well, I think having 11 drivers, Colin retiring, and then Evil spinning sounds sounds like a very interesting race. I think there was a lot happening, especially towards the beginning. At the end, when all the gaps started to come, it did kind of get not as entertaining, except for the whole Volcano Davey battle.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a strange race this evening. I just see Inorganic in chat saying great comms. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Inorganic. He's off to dry himself from the pit lane reporting, and yeah, I hope they've got some towels down there for you because you must have got pretty damp down there. I do believe we had Evil Master join into the commentary booth following an impressive victory after getting his way back through the field. Evil, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Very well raced tonight. A few little incidents. And now, my first question, other than that, is: were you expecting it to get dry and just trying to hold on to those inters for dear life? Because I saw at one point, I think you were at 75% wear on them, and obviously your teammate Andrew did pit. Was that the plan?
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to dry up so I could just box and get rid of my front wing damage that I had since I think lap 9. So yeah.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a collision. I think it looked like Colin understeered into the back of you going through the first corner. Did you find the wet conditions much more difficult there? Did you have a setup for it, or was it just tough all the way through?
I just drove my dry setup, that's it. It was a high downforce setup, so that did help me a little bit in the wet, so yeah.
And how did you find it coming up through the field? Because we saw you setting up some moves very, very nicely, but then we saw a little bit of an incident, I think, was it with Davey, when you were close behind your teammate?
Yeah, I think he just tapped my rear tire and we just got glued, and then that was it, went into the wall. But yeah, it was very fun driving in the wet, fighting through the pack, but wouldn't want to do it again, that's for sure.
No, it looked like really hard conditions, and I was fearing that you might have got rear wing damage when you went into the wall, because it looked like from our stream, I don't know if it was, that was correct, but it looked like you went into it backwards, and it was a hefty hit into the barrier as well.
Yeah, it was.
But I think that's 4 pole positions in a row, 2 wins in a row, 4 podiums in a row. So the informed man in RPM at the moment, Mr. Evil Master. And
That's great.
well, I'm sure you'll be permanent seat next season. So is this just a signal of your intent for a title charge on a new game?
Yeah, this is a warm up. I'm coming for that title, Colin.
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot in chat about you apparently cooking. I hope nothing got burnt.
Nah, it was well done.
Yeah. Oh well, perfect then. I'm more of a medium rare guy. I can't cook for too long. But yeah, brilliant again tonight, Evil, and good luck for the last 3 races of the season. And yeah, we hope to see you in the title charge next season. Right, so I think we had. Is it Volcano? Have you joined here?
Yes.
Hello. Well,
Hello.
an interesting race tonight. How did you find it?
Horrible.
Tell us how you really feel.
I think it's a challenge to keep the car going in the right direction in the dry at this track. So in the rain, yeah, it took me 10 laps to get into some kind of rhythm. I'm always a bit of a slow starter and need to adjust to new conditions. But yeah, it was pretty intense, but it wasn't fun.
No, it looked really, really tough from where we were watching. We thought, you were gaining as well on Davey at the end. Were you just hoping to get into that DRS range to make a last lap impact, or did you think you were just too far back the whole time?
Yeah, well, I've been practicing with Davey, and I think I'm a little bit faster here in Portugal than him. Maybe a couple of tenths, and I think that showed in the race eventually. But yeah, like I say, I'm not good at conditions changing, and that was the crossover from wet to dry. And so every lap your tires have to warm up, and the track is getting dry, so you have to constantly adjust to the new conditions. So it was more a matter of being busy with that than really having a plan to overtake Davey.
Yeah, because we thought at one point you might try and because we thought the lap before you pitted, people might start pitting. So we thought you might try and undercut, or were you at that point just thinking, I'll do whatever Davey does? Or was it you just didn't think it was dry enough? What was the call there?
Yeah, I was basically every time on the straight listening to the weather report. And the lap that I pitted was the first lap that it said dry is the better option. And then the game already came with the suggestion to pit. I think that was pretty much the same for everyone.
Yeah, and well, I'm sure you'll be looking for a nice rest now after what was a very, very tough race. And I've got to say one thing: if you watch the stream back, Evil Master, we caught you going sideways around the final corner, which was I don't know how you held on to it. I thought for sure you were going off.
Drifting.
Yeah, it was like Peter Solberg out the last corner. It was very impressive. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Great race again. Congratulations to both of you. Yeah, and great racing for us to watch again. A shame it was a bit of a smaller grid. Unfortunately, I believe that's because of the Newcastle-Brighton game going on. Entity's just spinning around in his own head at the moment because Brighton are getting hammered. But yeah, thanks for joining. This has been RPM, and we will be back next week in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how you guys like that track. I seem to reserve the walls for that track. But any final thoughts, Kieran?
Well, this having 11 drivers is something you'll never see in Championship Division.
No, because you'd usually have 10 or below.
Exactly.
Hopefully we'll have that sorted. Anyone who has watched tonight or finds this video, if you want to join the league, just drop into our Discord or follow our social medias, and there's seats available. But yeah, thank you everyone who came to watch. Thank you, Mr. Kieran, for some wonderful commentary again. Thank you, Volcano and Evil and Davey, who couldn't unfortunately join us, for some great racing up front. And we will see you next week in Saudi. Have a good evening.